No committee reports. We'll move on to old business. On project updates, project follower, I think we're still waiting on some paperwork. They are working with the state, so before we make any formal announcement on that, that'll have to be completed. Project Elixir, that's the light water stuff. They put down their retainer on the property. And I think they're going through the plans and working with the state and possibly getting the plans for their building up right now. So we have not done anything else on that. Project Rocks, I'll let Clay discuss that later on and get to it. Project 7, they are waiting to close on the property on it. So I think they are working on the plans on that. Right now, the closing documents are with the attorneys, so they're working all that out. So we hope to close on that pretty soon. So that'll be it. The latest one is that Vulcan Thermal that had been announced. That's the one in Simcoe. They have started groundwork on that. They're working on the buildings and all that. So hopefully that project will be up and running and employing people maybe by the end of the year or the first quarter of next year, hopefully on that. So I think we've got all that worked out.
And they are the heat treating,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
To the barriers.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Any questions on any of that from the board? Give you an update on the 5th and fire protection. We have met with Segunsville Fire Chief. It was a very, very productive meeting. Very impressed with him. I think he's also works for Eastman as their fire chief up there, part of the fire departments. They actually have a better ISO rating than Churchill, so that will help lower the fire insurance rates for the industry in there. And they seem to be eager to help us out on that. So I think right now it rests in the hands between the county and Swansville to negotiate the agreement and all that. And I think they're moving along that pretty well. So
we got a letter of intent from Mayor Graham.
Okay.
And their attorney, Joe May, is working on an agreement. So as soon as we get that done, of course, Churchill has it till almost the end of the year.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to get them in place and get everybody familiarized with what needs to happen.
Yeah, good, good. I do know we've already talked to them about when this agreement, if and when it's finalized, that we would get the Segunsville Fire Chief down at one of the meetings with the industry so we can talk amongst each other and introduce each other and see what's all going on. I know Churchill's done an outstanding job in this previously, but I know they've got their hands full and this is kind of overextending them, so we're grateful for Segunsville helping out, taking over and all that. We really appreciate them stepping up like that. So. Next, moving on to new business. To get a little bit on update, I know for those of you who aren't familiar, the governor and several members of our state and senate were here to visit Cardinal Glass here recently. Of course, Chairman Hawkins was with them, took them up there, met with the plant manager. He also met with them beforehand to discuss the water project and the sewer project. That's all kind of related to the bridge replacement that's going to take place up there with the state over the railroad. So once that gets built, we'll have those facilities in place, and I think eventually they'll be tied on to Jeremy already with a bigger usage, and then with the city, hopefully with the city sewer. So and they'll get them out of that business, and it's beneficial to them, and beneficial to both Churchill and First Utility District as far as the customer growth.
They actually talked last week. Their engineers reached out. They're wanting to extend another 2,000 feet of water line too down there, and
take it on further down past where you took it.
yes, on further down and pick up the whole backside of their property because they're basically like, hey, we're not in the water business. We're in the glass business.
Good, good. That sounds good. All right. Was that all we need on that one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Charles, have you got anything you want to talk about with TCAT?
I look back at just kind of status quo. I was going to take a little more deeper dive into truck driving, since we've been at it for over a year. If you've got time to do that.
We do.
So we have, just to kind of give some, I guess, general statistics with our class. So far we have had, and this includes the class now, contact with 74 students. Now, we have done some outside testing even as of yesterday. We don't necessarily count those as students, but those are contact. And so All but 3 of those students have been licensed and they are employed. We currently have a list of 76 recruiters. 36 of those 76 are actively seeking our students. The last one was in this a couple of days ago, and so we've actually brought a new one in this week, and we're trying to do that and upgrade that all the time. The continued growth is still moving along, and we are looking at new equipment and things of that nature. But I talked to my truck driving instructor this morning, and we generally meet about every other day because this changes so quickly. And I want to assure everybody in the room what TCAT tries to do with truck driving, and understand what I'm saying. We're not just about handing out Class A CDLs. We're about putting people in the workforce. And when we put them in the workforce, we want them to be good employees. And so that is something that I'm just going to say, you know, as I look at the landscape, that's something that's vitally important that all TCATs across the state are doing with this truck driving, is we are feeding something that there is a shortage on. There's estimated, now these numbers may not sound like a lot when you look at the entire country, but there's an estimated need of about 90,000 more truck drivers in the next 10 years across the country. So that's the last thing I said, you know, with our goal and what we're trying to do. That's what drives us in this program. It's not just the fact that we're turning out numbers. I know I report Patrick on numbers a lot, but it's not just about turning out numbers. It's about turning out good quality drivers. Anybody have any questions for me?
Charles, can you talk about a little bit too about the bus training y'all are doing too?
The 30th. And so we, like I said, we did have a couple of people come in yesterday from Greenville City Schools that got their Class B license. We can test for that, okay, if they've done their ELDT somewhere else. So we've already started that, and we've got many more that's contacted us about that.
Good. Any questions for Charles from the board? All right, thank you, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, no one's from the Board of Education. Clay, give us an update of what you know.
Well, things continue to move on. We're still in contact with Project Rocks, coordinate with Lynn, TNECD. We have meetings next week with them as Lynn, just trying to take care of the percents that we have discussed in the past. And everything still looks positive. So.
Good to hear. Any questions from the board?
No new milestones around the corner or anything headed into the fourth quarter?
Well, I think within the next couple of weeks will be pretty important, and you never know until you know. But anything where we need to discuss in executive session. Sure. So I'm sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no, it's okay.
Okay. I talked to you probably.
All right. Thank you, Clay. Lynn, Halson, y'all have any updates for us in the state?
Just again to reiterate the appreciation from our team as well as the governor's office for the Cardinal visit. I know a lot of the folks in this room were helpful in getting that set up. And like I said, everyone was very impressed. The funds have been poured into that facility since Cardinal has taken over. They are huge in dollar amounts, but more importantly, huge in improvements for the employees. And so I think that in particular is appreciated and was appreciated by both the governor's office and the ECD commissioner. So with that, they are looking for a little bit of assistance on an air permit. They're working on a scrubber project out there. So I reached out to TDEC and I'm trying to get some assistance for them on that. So.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, that was the first time I've been out in some time, and it's so impressive how Cardinal has improved the facility and just the whole environment there. You can see why they're a preferred employer.
Yeah, I know we talked to or Senator Haggerty's rep, and he was trying to set the meeting for Senator Haggerty to come out and visit the plant sometime too. So, all right. Yes.
I'll interject. Rebecca and I had a meeting with a local industry, existing industry that's expanding. They have all of our information, so their project would in fact qualify for state funding. They're looking at receiving some federal funding right now, and they're waiting to hear back on that side of things before moving forward, but it looks about like 25 new jobs and expanding on the footprint that they already have. So.
Great. That's great to hear. All right. Thank you. All right. Any of our guests, would y'all like to say anything or answer anything?
Not yet.
I think we'll have questions on the future topic.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I've got. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Not an international motion to adjourn. So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Okay, I think we have a question.
You guys able to get any answers for them yet?
Larry's not here today. He's
Okay.
actually got COVID. So, but like I told you, it was just an inquiry. They just inquired about that. So we've not made.
Nothing may ever come of it. We don't know. So, but we've
Okay.
not heard anything back as far as.
Oh, about the training?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so the questions that we did have, would you guys like them? That way, if they are back in communication, you can ask and.
yeah, if you want to leave them
follow
with
up.
us here, leave them with Rebecca.
Before they get back to you, I gave them to you already. You
You
still
did.
got them? Or
Yes.
you need them again?
If you have a copy of them, just let me have them, and that way that I'll.
Write you something?
Okay.
If you need 'em.
Jeremy, they're about to adjourn. Do you have a question?
Is that it? All right. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks,